We just did a segment on second wave feminism and Betty Friedan, and the very short of it is how women were miserable and depressed in the home, so they needed to be liberated and find their true meaning and calling and purpose of existence in the workforce. And I believe there was a misdiagnosis of the problem and then a misdiagnosed solution. So what's your take on just this existential crisis that everyone has about the meaning of life, and can it be found in work?
Yeah, it is a fascinating thing. I think there's a Chesterton quote, which I'll probably butcher, but it was something along the lines of that feminism was this notion that women were slaves when they worked for their husbands and their children, and that they were freed by becoming slaves for their employers, basically. So, yeah, I think everyone experiences this kind of existential crisis, or whatever you want to call it, this kind of angst, this sense that there's something missing in their lives, that there's this meaninglessness that surrounds them. And so it's not a hard problem to diagnose, even though I do think that Betty Friedan is probably guilty of a sin that you frequently find amongst people, especially kind of like middle class-ish, upper middle class people, which is this notion that my experience is the universal experience of all of those who are who have lived a kind of a relatively similar life. So I'm a suburban housewife, therefore, and I've talked to all of my other suburban housewife friends, so therefore this must be the experience of all women, which I think is bad, and that tends to be a lot of times what you see in kind of cultural movements is, this is the bad experience that I had. This, therefore, is what it is for everyone. So the problem is that you then try to find a solution to the problem. And the challenge with this is that you want there to be a solution. I think for example, you see this a lot in the transgender movement today, or kind of the lifeline of the transgender person's psyche, which is, there's something wrong with me. I can't figure out why I feel so out of place. And then this idea comes along, oh, you're a woman trapped in a man's body. And you go, oh, okay, that sounds like it could fit. It never really fit in with guys, my age. I didn't feel like I was doing the same things that they wanted to do. I felt somehow out of place. And someone says, here's the solution to your problem. Here's the stuff that you can do. Here are the hormones you can take. Here's the surgery that you can have. And that's going to fix things. And so people do that. And then for a while, they are overjoyed at the idea of, I finally fixed the problem. And then over time, it becomes clear, oh no, there's still something there that doesn't feel right. And that's why, why it is, if you look at the trend of suicides amongst people who are struggling with, what they used to call gender dysphoria, is that you have this high rate of suicides, and then they'd get the procedure and it would dip a little bit, and then suicidal tendencies shoot right back up. And I think that was in very much, you see that in the transgender movement, you see that in various feminist movements, you see this in all kinds of cultural things, where it's someone convinces you, I have the solution to this kind of, I'm trying to figure out the word here. What's the thing that diagnose? That's the word I'm looking for. This undiagnosable problem that you seem to have. I've diagnosed it. I have the treatment, and then I'm going to give you the solution. And then it never actually ends up bringing you happiness, because the solution to feeling empty in your life is not found by collapsing in on yourself more. It's not. So if you feel like your life is meaningless, the solution to the problem is not make yourself more the center of your own existence than you were before. That's only going to exacerbate the problem. You may not realize it at first, but in the end, that's absolutely what's going to end up happening.
Wow. That was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like, subscribe, get more.